Did you want to be famous when you were a kid?
Bachpan se. I was 3. If I don't get the claps and all that, I'll start crying.
Do you believe in love?
Of course I do. Nothing is worse than getting married to someone that you don't even love and living with them for years.
You see that around?
Come on now.
Most of the people in our industry are doing that nonsense.
You're speaking the truth.
People are okay to talk shit about me all the time, and nobody thinks about how I feel. You think I...
And women need to realize that they need each other.
Yeah, this idea of like, I don't need anybody and feminism and not. I don't believe in this shit at all. In fact, I think...
Well, then Nora Fatehi is saying this.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to disagree with me. Like, your comment section is going to be like, she's old school, she's a hypocrite, etc. I'm not.
Because as a guy, you assume girls are really sweet.
Girls are not sweet. Whoever told you that, don't be naive. In the real world, we bash men because, like, we have this thing where it's in fashion to bash men and be like, men are all assholes, and a lot of women are crazy.
You know what nazar is?
Yeah. Some people look at you through envy and hate and jealousy. When I've met other stars, they are inherently predators. Here, when they start to use as a way to bait you into war, they sniff out victims. But my personality is a little intimidating. They kind of get a little bit like, Arey, iske saath nahi, because she could talk.
Sometimes right after a podcast is recorded, my entire team knows that we've just recorded a blockbuster piece. This is an epic conversation with Nora Fatehi, who I believe, especially after this recording, is one of the Indian film industry's most misunderstood and misrepresented people. I feel people don't know the real Nora Fatehi. People don't know what it takes for someone to leave their home country and set up a flourishing career in another country over the span of a decade. I truly believe that the most interesting people that one can meet are people who are completely self-made. And if you're someone who's self-made outside of your geographical comfort zone, it adds layers and layers of personality. Lots of fun, lots of perspective, lots of serious talk on today's conversation. You're going to enjoy one of the best free-flowing podcasts that we've created on TRS with the epic Nora Fatehi. Welcome to TRS, Nora Fatehi.
Thank you.
What's up?
All good. How are you?
I'm good.
Is this okay if I bring it close?
Yeah, be chill. If you want to eat here, if you want to meditate here on the show, it's all...
It's giving me meditation vibes here.
Yeah.
So
we meditate in this room as
well.
well.
I love it.
Yeah. I think if you meditate in a room, like it changes the vibe of the space. And this is where all of our work comes out of. So the space is very, 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 very special. And you just made it more special.
Oh, thank you.
With your presence.
I love it.
What's happening in life?
So much is happening. So much. You have to be specific because I could go and blabber on for the next 7 hours.
Go for it.
So much, yeah. I mean, like, I'm a workaholic, so I'm constantly working. Every day I'm running around. I feel like it's nonstop for me. I'm at a point in my career where I'm trying to balance between doing my work in India and my work internationally, which sometimes I feel like I have to split myself in half and be in two different places at the same time. But I'm having a lot of fun. I'm learning so much about myself. I'm maturing. It's just a lot. So much is happening.
What are you running towards?
Oh, I'm running towards my goals. I have so many goals and they're all there, and I've made some happen already. I've reached, success at some point, but I have a lot of goals that I'm trying to fulfill.
You want to talk about them?
Yeah. I mean, so many, like, first of all, the fact that I've always wanted to do lead roles in films, right? So that's been like a 10-year struggle where I've been knocking on doors, trying to get in, and from doing songs, special features, to small roles, supporting roles, and climbing up those stairs. It's literally stairs. Some people, they get the opportunity to just go inside the lift, and then some people take the escalator, which is faster than the stairs. The stairs is tedious because when you take the stairs, like, sometimes your legs hurt. And you have to, like, take a break, and you're like, it's too much, it's a lot of stairs. And then you're going up and the stairs get longer and they get longer. And you're like, okay, well, this is a staircase not going to end. So that is basically the analogy for this journey of mine. Staircase.
And sometimes as you're climbing higher, the goal gets higher as well.
It does. Sometimes you're like, this is nice. So I actually managed to reach this. 10 years ago, I would have never thought, let me make my goal a little bigger, a little more tougher, a little more almost unattainable. And then when you attain it, you're like, it actually happened, So this is the zone that I'm in. This probably describes my whole entire life.
I'm just really happy that the first time I'm meeting you was over the course of a podcast, because then it's recorded forever.
That's true.
What I like about anyone who's grown up outside of India is that I've noticed that even within the media world, you guys don't develop too much of an ego.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. And this is what I've seen with I'm sorry I'm terming you as a foreigner.
No, it's fine. I mean, I'm not from here. But the only thing is, so funny you said, I'm sorry I'm terming you as a foreigner. There was a time where I used to hate that term in the beginning when I just came to India, because I felt that everyone who used the term foreigner would just typecast all non-Indians into one box. They're all Goras, and I'm like, wow. This is not it. I don't like this. And anytime they'd be like, oh, foreigner. And I'm like, I'm not a foreigner. I'm a brown girl too,
You could pass off as Indian.
I mean, I'm not. See, that's the thing. Foreigner means someone who's not Indian, right? But in our minds, the way it used to be used in the environment I was in, it was just like all European girls or all white girls. No offense to white people. I'm not like, it's fine.
Aren't you
but
a white person?
I'm
also?
not.
Okay, no,
I'm not. You know what I mean? And then I have to have arguments with people trying to explain to them that I'm like, guys, like I'm a brown girl. I'm a North African, Moroccan girl. And we relate to South Asians, just like, you Middle Eastern, South Asian, North Africans, they really blend together. They have a lot of similarities.
This is something Indians don't understand about the Middle East and North Africa until they travel there.
Until they travel, right? Then they realize, boss, both similar, and it's almost scary similar. And so I always wanted to educate people and be like, no, this is where I'm from. This is my background. We are very similar. All foreigners are not the same. And then when they hear me speak Arabic, they'd be like, Arey wah, those words are the same words in Hindi, or in Urdu. And I'm like, yes, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Kursi, kitab, a lot of things. There are a lot of things that are similar, but I like to focus on the similarities rather than the differences, which is also the reason why I was able to make it here, is because of the similarities and being relatable to the audience. They clearly saw something where they're like, boss, we can relate to her, right? But yeah, you were saying about foreigners.
So what I've planned for this particular conversation is actually more of a, again, don't mind me saying this, but it's like a foreigner's perspective in India. And I'll tell you why I'm saying this. It's not a typecast you, but as a media professional, you hear things about other media professionals, now, whether they're actors, singers, whatever. If you spend time in this industry, I'm sure you would have heard something about me. I've heard something about you.
For sure.
Whenever people talk about you, it's always with a lot of respect within the media fraternity.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of respect put against your name because of your hard work. And I've heard people say things like, oh, she's a rocket. So that was my only impression of you, honestly, from a professional perspective. I'm not talking about the front end. I'm not talking about what people see. But you know how if a footballer is seeing another footballer play the sport, you can see it from a different lens.
Right.
And that's what's always come through about you. And I mean, you're a perfect example of someone who's come up the hard way.
Yeah.
Which is why I think that's the core nucleus when it comes to going even further.
For sure. Yeah. I appreciate that. I'm glad. Look, that's a very positive thing to hear, because not a lot of people have, a good image, especially like stars. Our industry is really difficult, and in your face, this is relevant to stardom. Like, people will see stars, media people will see stars, industry people will see stars, and they'll be like so nice to them in their face. And oh, sir, ma'am, and all that. But behind their back, they will say other things about them related to their personality, the way they behave, etc., etc. So it's very rare that you hear people say good things about you behind your back, even if you're a star, And so when you're saying that this is the kind of things you hear about me, it's really nice.
You saw some crazy shit while growing up?
In my area, yeah, for sure. I mean, we've seen shootings, we've seen drive-bys. Drive-bys is when someone's in a car, sticks their gun out and starts shooting out and then drives away. That's a drive-by. That's the term we use. We've seen school shootings where someone will come with a gun and, there's a lockdown in the school. Everyone's hiding under their tables and the cops are coming.
Over what?
I don't know. I mean, gang wars. People are crazy. People are really crazy. Egos. We anyways have a massive gun problem in Toronto to begin with. So a lot of kids have guns for no reason. They have access to guns.
Did you have a gun?
No. I was very studious. I didn't need a gun. I have my mouth, my tongue. My mouth is a weapon. So, I mean, I attack with my words, unfortunately. And sometimes this, but not anymore. I'm a good girl now.
Seem very peaceful.
No need to lie. Not really. A little bit. Depends. I mean, I think I've matured in the sense where I'm trying to figure out what to let go and what not to let go. But yeah, my industry is not an easy industry to work in. It's a tough one. I love it. Don't get me wrong. Very grateful. But you have to be constantly on almost, it's not like a fighter mode, but you have to be constantly alert, constantly awake, constantly figuring out like who to trust, who not to trust, who's around you. You have to be very protective over your energy, your aura, your around everything. You have to be very protective. And there's
you know what nazar is?
We believe in nazar. I mean, I think people who are in the public eye do succumb to nazar a lot because a lot of eyes are on them, a lot of jealousy, envy.
What happens nowadays is if there is ever an event that I have to go for, and I try going for as few events as is possible because of this reason.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I get back from that event, I always have some ache or pain.
Yeah, that's definitely nazar. I mean, especially if you're someone, because everyone's aura is different, right? Some people's auras are more weaker than others, and some people's auras are more, you gravitate towards them more. And that's the difference between a star and a non-star, to be frank. It's an energy. So stars have an aura that make people want to look at them, make people admire them, make them aspirational. Sometimes you like some star and you don't even know why you like them. It's just like, there's something about them. That's their aura, And that aura particularly, it grabs people's eyes. And not all people's nazar, eyes, is good. Not all people's eyes, when they look at you, they don't always look at you in good intentions. Some people look at you through envy and hate and jealousy and wishing bad on you. And that is an energy I genuinely really believe in. If it catches on you, it can make you sick. It can make you mentally disturbed. It can make you lose your sleep. It can make you, your body hurt. It can kill your aura down where you don't look your best anymore. That's where sometimes you feel like you're depressed. You feel like you have anxiety. You feel all these things come into play. It's an interesting topic, but it's definitely very intricate. If you go really deep into it, you'll realize that's why a lot of stars struggle through depression and anxiety. That's why a lot end up being suicidal, for example, because when you have millions and billions of eyes on you and half of them don't even wish you well, and then you have your co-actors or your competitors plotting against your fall and wanting to destroy you because of their envy and their ego and their fear of you maybe doing really well, and they don't want you to do well. People can do anything to destroy you and remove you from the way, So
what's the Arab way of getting rid of nazar?
There's so many ways. I mean, it depends also what religion you're in. Like, for example, Muslims will read Quran, they will read Ayatul Kursi, they will pray, a lot of salt water baths. There's also, depending on what culture you're in, there are ancestral rituals that are used to cleanse your aura and your spirit. There are many things that one does. But obviously, it's a very deep conversation. Yeah, it's a deep one.
You have a whole occult side.
Yeah, of course, definitely. I mean, someone like me has to be very, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, alert, aware, and educated about certain things, because when you are in the public eye, you succumb to all these things. It is what it is. I mean, a lot of people might not want to discuss this, and some people go, oh, I don't believe in this, and this is all nonsense. But